Welcome to the Monster Castle radio show. For the extreme paranormal listener. And here is your host, the Wolfman, Mike.
Yeah. This is where the real freaks hang out, alright? Yeah. Let's hear some rock and roll, baby, yeah!
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Monster Castle. Darren, are you there? We got Darren Dark here.
I'm here.
We got Adam
Darren
Strange.
Dark has made it home from work.
All right, Adam Strange, are you there?
That I am.
That's his new nickname I picked for. I don't know if you guys like that. Let us know. I'm thinking Adam Strange. I don't know. I think it sounds cool.
Just don't call me doctor.
No, we won't call you doctor. No, maybe the patient though. No, you're the patient, not the doctor.
Already.
Oh, hello, monster. Oh, there's a monster in here too. Anybody lose a monster? What's going on, guys? Anything new lately? Anything in the news? Anything special happened to you?
Well, there was
No?
Nothing ever happens to you, Darren.
I know.
You never get abducted
Adam's
or
going
anything.
to say...
Okay, go ahead, Adam.
I interrupted Adam.
there was a pie that was sent off into space quite recently.
Well, yeah, I saw that picture. A pie. It looks like they're sitting it out of the window of some kind of spacecraft. That's weird.
Yeah.
Talk about pie in the sky, eh?
Oh yeah.
Why did
They sent a pie?
Yeah, like a pie, like I don't know, apple pie or something. It's up in space. I don't know why they did that. Why did they do that? Are the astronauts going to eat it? Is that where they cool it down or something?
I think it was actually like a pot pie. I think is what it was.
Oh, pot pie.
Yeah, like the
Turkey pot pie?
Is it
yeah,
legal?
kind of
Is that stuff legal in space?
probably.
Do you think astronauts smoke pot up there? Or just they eat pot pie? I guess you can't smoke in there. You'd probably, it could blow up.
Yeah, you could catch fire.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, they're pretty healthy.
you can't run outside when you're on fire in space, right? You just run around in circles inside the spacecraft, I guess.
Yes, you get a bit cold out there.
Here's some fire sounds for you. You hear that? It's kind of a quiet sound effect. Something's burning!
Yeah.
Fire in space is not good.
No,
oxygen up there.
yeah, they got oxygen. Okay. Well, I got a jokes. I got a couple jokes for you guys.
Let's hear him.
Okay. What what is a flat earther's favorite food?
Pancakes?
That's a good answer. I like that. Okay, there's two answers. They like, oh yeah, pancakes and pizza. Quiche, too. Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah.
Okay, what do flat earthers take with them on vacation?
Discs.
No, a parachute. In case they fall off the edge. Hey, if you guys had a friend that was a flat earther, what would you buy him for Christmas?
A pizza.
This one isn't a joke, actually. It's just a question that we could, have multiple
A globe.
funny answers for. A what?
Buy him a globe.
A globe. Yeah. And a squirt gun, and you can try to squirt water on it and make the water stick to it. Yeah.
I wonder
man.
if the flat earthers have their own globe, like a big flat pancake-like Earth.
Yeah, they do. They actually
Where
do.
would
Yeah,
it end?
they have their own diagrams and maps, and of course they don't need something like a globe. They can get theirs down on a piece of paper. It's all flat, Actually, some of the flat Earth people, and I don't like to, I just like making fun of it because I think it's funny as hell. But I do have a buddy that has a show, and he's been on before. But yeah, what was I going to say? He believes it's not actually round, but he doesn't necessarily believe it's flat. He thinks it's a weird shape.
Oh, kind of oblong.
Yeah, but the top surface is where you stay on. He thinks it's all one top surface, but he's not sure what's underneath. So that's
Well, the moon
kind
sure
of
looks round to me.
Yeah, but it could just be a flat thing
got
that's
perspective.
facing right at you. You never see the dark
No,
side.
because when you see the edges, the craters go off in the distance. You can tell that there's an
Oh,
arc
I
to it.
know. I know. You can tell. You look at the shadow on it. Look, hold a tennis ball up to a light bulb, and look at the shadow. It's the same.
And then,
Come
when
on,
there's
man.
a lunar eclipse, you can see the Earth's that it's circular when it goes across the lunar face.
Oh yeah, we gotta have. What was his name again? My flat Earth head. Do you remember his name? My flat.
I just called him Flat Earth Head. He was great
yeah.
though.
Yeah, I forget his name.
He was
Walt.
fascinating.
Walt. Yeah, we gotta have him
Walt.
back. We gotta have him back on, and every time he says something dumb, we'll electrocute him. Yeah,
We need to have him on and take calls.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, lots of bonking. Yeah, I think so.
How's the chat room looking?
Oh shit! I better take a look. There's already 33 comments in there.
Oh boy.
Shout out to Ophidian, Wisteria Whisper, Tiffany. That's who I see. So Lulabelle. That's all I see so far, but there could be more. I don't know. There's one more. Yeah, there's Lulabelle there. Ophidian. All right, shout out to I'm gonna check the Twitter here. God of Thunder, Mark Hanapepe on hashtag 47talk, which anyone can check out, and that's where we post things for the show. If there's any pictures or anything like that, we usually post on Who else is on here? Well, I've already mentioned everybody that I. Oh, there's Moog Boy. All right. And
He's back.
An A-hole skeptic. And Jeff Gear.
Oh,
Jeff Gear's there. Right on. We got the heavy duty crowd from DM Talk on with us. Right on.
Moon Boy's been a few weeks.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, and the and also I'd like to mention everybody send your healing thoughts out to Caveman Ugg, who has just gone through some kind of a surgery, I believe. And actually, yeah, even our guest that's coming on tonight, he just had a surgery this week too, and he's hoping that this show will cheer him up. So we got to try to cheer him up. I think that's a great way to recover.
Putting pressure on us.
Oh yeah, I'll show you pressure. You know what kind of pressure I like to give on people? You know what I like to do? Hey, one of these. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that ain't working. Uh-oh. We're gonna change something here. What the heck? Where's my... Oh, I lost my bonk sound. Oh, no! I'll find it back while we're doing this song break. You guys got anything else? Adam, I think you had some news articles, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. There's, let's see here. There was a group of German scientists that have made what they believe to be a nuclear fusion generator, which is a nuclear power generator that uses the fusion reaction instead of fission, which basically means that the nuclear particles are fused together and so that the
creates energy.
Yeah, it creates energy and it explodes and whatnot. Yeah, and they've managed to figure out a safe way to do it, which is quite interesting.
So Mr. Fusion is on the in the future, just like Back to the Future. You throw a couple banana peels.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That could happen. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
and,
society would change if we had free energy or super cheap energy.
Oh yeah.
Everything would be different. Total game changer.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Also, shout out to Kurt Green and shout out to Vanessa B and all my other new followers. But yeah, Kurt was already trying to phone in. I had to
we haven't even got our guests introduced yet.
Yeah, I know, and he's already trying to phone in. Yeah, man. Okay.
Well.
So, go ahead, Adam. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, and there's another interesting news article. A group of inventors have actually made a device that they claim can actually rid your house or apartment or what have you of ghosts.
How does it work?
Yeah, what principle?
On the principle of, I believe it was on the principle of using different kinds of frequencies to affect the the energy frequencies of the spirits in some way or another.
They're saying it works.
There's a possibility, but I'd be kind of skeptical at this point.
That's almost like a Ghostbusters invention, man. Like from the movie. That's what it reminds me of. Wow.
Except you don't capture it. You keep them out.
Yeah.
You don't capture it. That'd be cool to capture it.
Yeah, I'd
I
like to
guess.
know what it actually does to the poor spirits.
Capture.
What does
Capture
it do
Uncle
to the
Bob in a little box.
Maybe it puts them into the wrong dimension, man. And who knows where do they go? What's it do to the poor spirits?
Yeah.
That's what I was just wondering. What if they were like ghosts from your past, or somebody you knew, your grandfather? Then you capture them in a little box.
Oh, that's mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like genies, like those jinn. They're nasty spirits, eh? Lad? They're supposed to be older than the angels, but they can. You can capture them in a bottle, apparently. So you could probably can do it. They used to have magic back in the day to do things like that. I believe it still exists, and some people can probably do that. Put you in a bottle.
Yeah.
Put the cork on.
Mm-hmm. Some
You
enchanted
bring it over
bottle.
to a friend's house, or an enemy's house. I got a drink here for you. Oh, genie.
Oh, let's see.
I don't think they'd have wishes though.
Yeah.
So.
Or transferring their consciousness to a banana or something like that.
Oh no! I'd rather be a cucumber and be really cool, man. You're really cool. Hey, cool. Yeah, man. I'm a cucumber. Pretty cool, man. Oh man, we're talking about silly things. I think we better get a song on and then introduce the guest, eh?
Sounds good.
Oh, I already told my stupid jokes, right? Oh yeah, we didn't get everybody's answer on what would you buy a flat Earth head for Christmas, like a beach ball or something, and a squirt gun. That's what I'm thinking. They can squirt water on the beach ball and try to make the water stick to it. And then they go, "Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. How could that be true?" Oh my God! And no offense to anyone who's a flat earther listening, because you're entitled to your opinion, right? And I don't know. Prove me wrong. I think it's round. I think it's not. I mean, it's spherical. I don't believe it is anything. Anything like a. Wow.
It's interesting to listen to all the arguments.
Yeah.
That's why I like having
the weirdest
wall time.
Yeah, the weirdest thing I heard was that those trees, those big mountains, like Devil's Tower, is a tree stump. Oh no! Don't do that. Wow. Okay. Okay, we're gonna be back in a little while. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
We're taking a break, and then we will come back with your guest for the evening. All right, you are on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio.
And we are rocking with Bauhaus, and Bela Lugosi is dead. He's dead. All right, yeah. Wow, this was recorded on vinyl, man.
white translucent black capes back on the rack. Bela Lugos is dead, the bats have left the bell tower. The victims have been bled, red velvet lines, the black box. Bela Lugos is dead. Bela Lugos is dead. The virginal brides file past his tomb. Still many times their flowers bereft in deathly bloom. Alone in a darkened room, the Count Bela Lugos is dead. Is dead. Bela Lugos is dead. Undead, undead, undead. Undead, undead, undead. Undead.
Ha ha! I found my bonk noise. Ha ha! We are back! Oh no, they're back! Not these guys again. Shit. We've got.
Bonked your own song.
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's a weird song.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was just ending. The ending is just the drums just fade out there. And
That's an odd drumming sequence or timing. I like the bass though.
yeah, I
Never heard that song.
Yeah, it's Bauhaus, and that is Bela Lugosi is Dead. It's pretty famous song actually. So we're gonna introduce. Is James there? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. All
I'm
right.
still alive.
Mr. James Best, ladies and gentlemen. Whoops. The wrong one. Mr. Lane. Let's try that again. Mr. James Best, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Oh, that was a joke. I did that on purpose. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. No, I
It's
didn't.
allowed.
All right. James is the author of maybe you could tell us because there's 2 books that you've written, right, sir?
Yeah, I wrote one called A Walk in Time, and my new one's called The Haunting of Marcasite. And it's about a small place in the middle of nowhere on the prairies. And since time began, it was haunted by these ghoul and werewolf creatures. And they used to attack the First Nations people.
Oh, wow.
And then over time, it became like the end of a road, place where the outlaws and the rustlers used to go and hide because there was no law at that time. So they used to have gunfights on Main Street and everything. And every year, for some unknown reason, from spring till fall, that area used to get hit with severe thunderstorms, like awful severe thunder and lightning. And people would see these beings, or they thought there were beings hiding in the shadows between the flashes of lightning. And the natives used to see their shadows on their teepees. And then after the storm dissipated and went away, lo and behold, people were missing.
Wow.
And they,
And that's your new book, right?
yeah, The Haunting of Marcasite, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
That
Sam.
sounds fantastic.
So, is it based on true stories that you've heard?
Not at all.
Is there?
Oh no, not at all, eh?
No.
What made you decide to write this style of paranormal fiction?
I've always believed
Yeah,
it, and I've had a lot of paranormal experiences over my lifetime.
Aha! There we go. Aha!
That's.
Now we're getting.
Yeah.
We want to get into that. Let's ask him about his books though first.
Okay.
What's the name of the first book and what is it about?
It's called A Walk in Time. It's about a guy by the name of Ben Crowley. And it's basically his life story and his experiences from the time he was a teenager till later in life. And talks about all his experiences, the good and the bad. And unfortunately, he walked on the bad side of the tracks and he ended up in jail a number of times. And every time he was in jail, he'd think back about all the good things and then how we got into the bad things. And yeah, it's just,
When did you write that book?
I published that one March 3rd, 2010. Took me 5 months to write.
5 months. Now,
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask a general question about just being a fiction writer. How do you ever get writer's block or sit down and just start writing really fast, or how much do you write per day?
Well, okay. When I wrote A Walk in Time, I sat here for 5 months over the winter. And I would write 10 to 12 hours a day. Some days I could write 10,000 words. Other times, like, I don't know if you call it writer's block, but I would write sometimes maybe 500 words, 600 words. and then
And then other times,
it would
comes
just
to you.
come right out. Just like when I wrote The Haunting of Marcasite. Some days the words just fly out.
And how long did that one take?
The Haunting of Marcasite?
Yeah.
I was in and out of hospital a lot over the years, so it took me 3-4 years altogether. But I worked on it. I hired a self-publishing outfit to help do the design on the book cover, the page layout and formatting, and because I'm not a computer wizard, I can't do that kind of work. But I hired one group to do it rather than hiring individuals from all over the world because it costs too much.
How did you decide on what to write about? I mean, how do you choose what your next book's going to be? I'm on chapter 3 of a crime novel right now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and the reason that I was going to try and write like a follow-up to A Walk in Time or The Haunting of Marcasite, and I met a lady on Twitter. She's an author over in England. She's one of the best-selling authors. I can't remember her name offhand. But anyway, she writes every book that she's wrote, like her first 6, they were all different genres of books. And so I got into a discussion with her, and I said, do you mind if I ask you questions? Like, how do you do it? And why you keep writing different genres all the time? And she goes, that way you don't lose your audience. And
sure.
Yeah. And I picked her mind about writing, like, the horror one. I got an outline for a Western. I haven't written the book, but I'm slowly working on an outline for it. So once I finish my crime novel, that's the next one that's coming out.
So you just work on one book at a time?
Yeah. I'm working on, the one I'm working on now is called The Depths Within. And it's a fictional city that's crime ridden and how they're going to overcome their problems and stuff. And I'm slowly working on it. But at the same time, I've been like, I guess, okay, I'll admit I have writer's block. And I don't really know how I want the storylines to go. And that's like when I wrote A Walk in Time, I knew exactly, I don't know why, but I knew every day I knew how the story was going to fit together. I had no problem doing it.
How about The Haunting?
Okay, The Haunting of Marcasite, there was days when I didn't write, like I said, I didn't write very much, but I would never walk away from my computer. I would just sit here and think like, like, where should I go from here? Like, how can I make it work? How can I fit things together? Is there a magic way? And I would just sit there. Go ahead.
You don't really have it all prepared beforehand. You just kind of go with it and explore writing and explore the journey yourself while you write it.
Yeah. I have, like, I try and come up with a main character for each book because you have to have one main character. And then you can have 30 other characters if you want, lesser characters. But you have to have a main character. You have to have some, like a protagonist or whatever you want to call them, someone that has a different point of view, especially in a crime novel within the civic government. When you're on a council and the police commission reports to the council, you have different opinions, and you have to have. I have 2 people that maybe could be the main secondary character. But every time, like when I write, like even in Walk in Time, I come up with different characters and I'd write their name down and I give them different traits and characteristics in different ways of looking at.
You brainstorm the type of person you want and then you go with it.
Yeah.
Adam likes to kill his main characters off, right, Adam?
I did for my my short story. I did, yeah.
Well, I thought, many times since I've been writing, like, do I want to write short, like, have read a book with 3 or 4 short stories in it? Do I want, like, people write on Amazon, they write. I have a friend, I have quite 3 or 4 different people on Facebook that are friends of mine that write. Some of them write 45-page books and they publish them through Amazon. That's not something that appeals to me.
It's like a journey every time you write a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's fun, probably too, or is it frustrating,
Uh,
or both?
it can be. It can be both. Like, yeah, I get frustrated. When you're trying to fit a story together, and one day you might think, okay, this is the way I want it to go. Then you work on it. The next day you come up and you read, go back to chapter 2, and you read. And if you're not, that doesn't seem right, I want to change it. Then you go in and you change it. But I've also learned from talking to a lot of writers and editors and whatnot. The secret is just write the book. Just sit and write. You can always go back and edit it and change whatever you want once you got the whole story written first. That's the most important part.
Do you use...
who's the main character?
Oh, so can I ask one?
Go ahead.
Can I ask one? Do you use a computer to do your writing, or do you use actual paper and a pen?
No, I use a writing program on my computer.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Can you dictate, like, just speech to text?
On Windows 10, I haven't got it set up for that yet, but yes, you can.
Yeah, you got to do that. That'll save you a lot of time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had Windows Vista, and I had Word or whatever it was, and I basically got a derivative because I just keep moving it.
Adam, how do you do it, Adam?
Well, I personally actually use the voice typing option when you use Google Docs. It seems to be a lot more accurate than what the native Windows 10 dictation does.
That's cool.
I've never used Google Docs, or all I've ever used before was I had Windows Vista, and I used Word or whatever it was.
Yeah, Word.
But you always, like, you got spell check, you got grammar check, you got a dictionary there. And I got dictionaries and all kinds of, like, thesauruses dictionaries, Oxford dictionaries. I got a whole stack of them.
Very good.
So Adam, you don't type it? You just speak it?
It really depends on the mood, really. If I feel like doing it speedy and talking instead of typing, I'll do that. Or if I want to do some typing, I type.
Do you get on like a good groove kind of too, or do you kind of always the same, or do you have like writer's block and then you can just write a whole bunch and it just comes to you?
For me, it really just it really just comes to me. I have yet to actually have writer's block.
Oh, cool.
And James, when you write your books, a lot of people that write, they say they feel like it's almost like somebody is standing behind them and telling them the story and dictating it to them.
It comes right out of your mind and out of your soul. And whether that means there's someone behind you spying on you, making you do it, or
guardian angel.
I don't know where the words come from. I don't, but they just come. I was always a good writer in school, and I did I was in the trade union movement, and I wrote all kinds of stuff. I did interviews. I was involved in local politics. I ran federally in '84 for the NDP and stuff. I did a lot of speech writing. Even though I had speech writers, I'd rewrite it because I didn't like their big words. Because you got to use small words to hold people's attention, because people won't pay attention to big words. But yeah, I love writing. I always have. It's fascinating.
I'm pretty good at writing poetry and lyrics for music, but I'm not much of a writer of books. I've tried
Wolfman, I bet you could do it, Wolfman. I could do everything else. Give it a shot.
Well, I probably
the only way to do it is sit down and do it, Wolfman. That's all.
Right on. Yeah, I've been asked to write like a short book about my experiences with UFOs and the paranormal, all the things I've seen and everything. I've started actually taking notes for the book. But yeah, it goes. I just keep adding to the notes because I keep thinking of other things that happened to me. So it's taken me a while to come up with everything, make it on a list.
There's nothing wrong with taking notes. That's the best approach for you if it works for you. Every writer in the world has a different approach in how they do things. It varies. I don't think
fiction would be
like at one time people, that's all they did was they used a typewriter or they wrote it by hand, and then they'd hand it into it. If they had a publishing company, they'd hand it in. The editors would go through it. Their publishers.
Fiction would be a lot more fun to write.
Yeah,
because you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're doing nonfiction, you'd have to do all the research and then put everything together. It'd be a lot more challenging.
Yeah.
Although I prefer nonfiction. I don't know why. But if I was writing a book, I think I'd rather write fiction because you can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've had like a lot of people I grew up with and known over the years say I should write an autobiography, but that's not me. I don't want to do that.
Well, that's why you're on the show.
Yeah, I know.
Can you tell us about your main character in your new book? Or not your newest book, the one you're writing, but the Haunting of Marcasite, or how do you say it?
The Haunting of Marcasite. The main character, Marcasite. The word Marcasite, if you want to know what it is, if you look in the Oxford Dictionary 2010, whatever, it's a gem that has been like a diamond. It's been hidden in the earth and layer upon layer over the centuries has pushed down on it to form a gem. Or
I thought it was.
Could be a piece of metal that's cut into the shape of a gem and polished to look like one.
So it's actually, is it not pronounced Marcasite?
No. Well, you could say Marcasite. It's Marcasite, actually.
Okay.
And the reason I use that word, Marcasite, is because I had a picture of this town, even though it was haunted from before that town was even built, when the First Nations used to come there every spring because they'd move from one place to another throughout the year. Was the people wanted, the founding fathers wanted a gem of a place to raise their family and their grandkids in future generations. But they found out it wasn't really a gem after all.
Okay.
It's not a real place. It's just in your book, right?
Yeah, it's fictional. None of
the backstory.
Yeah, none of it is true.
Who's the main character in that?
The main character in The Haunting of Marcasite, believe it or not, his name is Greg Braden. He's the only one, other than the victims of these ghoul and werewolf attacks, that has actually seen him and lived. And why they visited him when he was 6 years old, the first time he ever saw him. And these ghoul and werewolf creatures would attack the town of Marcasite in storms from spring till fall. In the worst storms of the year, they would show up. And people believe that these creatures, and even they came from the Milky Way, and that was a prison, and during these fast storms, they would come and attack that town. But Greg was only 6 years old, and every storm, every major storm after that throughout his whole life, and even when he went on holidays with his family, these creatures seemed to find him and haunt him. But yeah, he's the main character. There's lots of other sub-characters.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you gotten any reviews on the book yet?
I haven't seen any on Amazon. I got family and friends that say it's good. They like it. It's a good story.
Yeah, reviews are one of the most difficult things to get.
It's my first attempt at horror, and they say, for your first attempt, it is good. So
yeah,
that's why you're on the Monster Castle.
Yeah. I need more exposure, and I keep trying to get it through Twitter and everything else as much as I can. I have a page on Facebook, but it's out of date. I got it. And I'm going to get rid of it and redo it. But I called it Friends Are Reading Books. And when I had my computer hacked a number of years ago, and it's been messed up, and I just never bothered fixing that page because I never use it really. So, but I know I need
who uses?
to get rid of it, and I need to get a smartphone so I can post pictures of my book on that page. This way, I want to do it at the top of the page. I want to have all my books.
Do we have pictures of the book on our Twitter, Wolfman?
Pictures of I'm not sure. Jeff would have taken care of that. He said he was going to, but are you talking?
Yeah, he said he was going to post my URL on your page for everyone to see. I don't know if he posted a picture of it. I don't know.
I imagine.
I noticed there's a.
Let's see.
But the Wolfman has a picture of it.
I posted it on the Spreaker, the episode. It'll have that picture with this episode on Spreaker of his book cover.
Yeah, you can just Google The Haunting of Marcasite. It'll pop up.
Yep. Yeah, I found it right away, actually. As soon as I had The Haunting of M.A., it popped up already on Google. Yeah.
I noticed there's another author with your same name. That's got to be a challenge.
Well,
a challenge is, James Best, remember the Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah.
The guy that played the sheriff? His name was James Best.
Roscoe P. Coltrane?
Yes, the same one.
He just passed away, too. I guess he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
He made a lot of other shows in movies with like westerns and other shows that he appeared in. But the best known role was for Roscoe P. Coltrane. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a lot of westerns and stuff.
Yeah.
How's the chat looking, Wolfman?
Oh, it's
tough not having
somebody asked something, but Whisper's asking, "Hey Darren, please ask James if he is an." It says N.A. I see. Native American or part.
No.
Okay.
I'm not Native American. I have none of it. I'm part German, Russian, and half Irish. But I have. My dad did marry. Like my mom and him broke up, got a divorce, and he married a Cree lady. And I got a half sister that's half white and half Native. And I grew up around a lot of, like where I lived in Saskatchewan, within probably 40 miles or so, there's 4 or 5 different reserves. I went to school with a lot of them. And 2 of my best friends were brothers. One became an RCMP constable and the other became a social worker. But yeah, I've known lots of them throughout my lifetime.
So you live in a really remote area, don't you? Didn't you say?
I live in northern Alberta, not northeast Alberta, but I grew up in rural Saskatchewan. Yeah, I was born there.
And so I imagine you've seen a lot of strange things out there because that's way up in boonies area. You're way in the boonies.
How cold is it up there?
Right now, without the wind chill days, about minus 26. It's supposed to be minus 31 by morning and minus 40s or more with the wind chill by morning. Last weekend we had minus 46. Weekend.
Oh my God!
But that's still not cold.
How much farther north is he than you, Wolfman?
Oh, he's quite a bit further north because remember Ontario sticks down in it's lower than any other province. We are the most southerly of Canada.
And how far to the north of Canada are you? Where did you grow up?
Okay, right now Do you know where Fort McMurray, Alberta is? Have you ever heard of it? The oil sands?
That's where all that stuff went down, where the town burned down,
But,
eh?
yeah, Fort McMurray, yeah. They lost 2,800 homes and businesses. They evacuated 90,000 people in
And
May.
I heard that the people were going back, and there was nothing wrong, and there was no fire or nothing. And
No, there was a fire. They had the Global News was up there, CTV News. They had their helicopters and that. The cops were evacuating people. They're driving down the highway, and probably 6 to 10, 20 feet away, the trees were burning, and the flames were probably 30, 40 feet in the air. The trees, it was just dry, and that fire just swept.
now the people in that
Burnt a
town,
lot of different places. So, a lot of it didn't get burnt, but there was a lot of smoke damage, a lot of water damage.
now the people in that town, didn't they all work for, I believe, the petroleum companies?
Yeah, it's Fort McMurray was built there.
And then the petroleum
The same
companies.
food and
Wait a minute,
some
and then the petroleum companies laid them all off, and that town had no employment. And
Yeah,
and
but
the banks.
You know that Suncor and Syncrude, the two biggest oil companies, and there was a couple other smaller ones, even though they laid their people off, they continued to get full wages until they reopened parts of the town where they could get, because some of the subdivisions, there was nothing left. Everything's burnt to the ground.
Oh, I'm just trying to suggest that that maybe it was done on purpose. That's what I heard. It was burnt down on purpose because the people all lost their jobs and they couldn't pay their houses off. So
No. Whether it was caused by humans or whether it was lightning strikes, I don't think they're going to know what caused, at least for another year, from what the latest news. So, but no,
How many houses were lost?
they said there was something like 2,800 houses and businesses lost in that fire. And
How
there's
many are
hope-
still standing?
Well, there was 90,000 people there. So you figure 90,000 people, how many houses is it going to take? Like some of them were families. There might have been.
Sounds like about 20% or something of the town. That's
well,
a big
15%.
fire.
Yeah, it was a big fire. It was. Like they evacuated the whole town because they were scared the whole town was going to burn. And that fire was raging in different parts. Like up in Thickwood, there was a number of different fires all the way through Gregoire, Beacon Hill, in Abasans, and in Waterways. It wiped out entire subdivisions.
How far away from your house is that?
292 clicks.
Just around the corner.
Yeah, just up the road.
is there any Bigfoots around there? Do you think?
No,
You don't know, but
no, there's
nobody
never
says
any talk. We got lots of like goats and deer and moose, and the bears. They're just out on the other side of the school on the highway. They run back and forth. I used to have coyotes come right into my yard, but they built a new office building next door to me, and now the coyotes don't come into town anymore.
What was it like growing up there?
I grew up in Saskatchewan. I lived in Fort Mac at one time. I drove taxi there for 5 years, and then I went back to college, moved to Edmonton, and then
You've been all over.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, it's already time for us to take another break, guys. I just noticed we are at the top of the hour. You're on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio, and what were we just talking about again? Just so we remember it.
Where he grew up,
Okay.
Saskatchewan.
Okay, we'll hold that, and then find out what kind of paranormal experiences that Mr. James Best has had that made him inspired to write these scary paranormal books? Well, your first one isn't scary, but it's still it's sort of paranormal too, isn't it?
Let's just say the main character in my first book, Ben Crowley, was a junkie. And he had a lot of experiences, but I wouldn't say they're paranormal, no.
Okay, well...
Drug-induced experiences.
Oh, cool. That's my favorite. Well, all right, we're going off to... we're gonna have some Bruce Springsteen here.
People who were engaged in...
I picked that song for you there, Darren.
All of us here tonight.
It's a live version. Bruce Springsteen with Tom Morello.
If you pick up the newspapers,
rockin'
you see
with the
millions of
Wolfman.
people out of work. You see a blood fight over decent health care for our citizens, and you see people struggling to hold on to their homes. If Woody Guthrie were alive today, he'd have a lot to write about high times on Wall Street and hard times on Main Street. Now, to join my two great guitar players, Steve Van Zandt and Nils Lofgren, I want to bring out one of the greatest guitar players in rock and roll and a great voice from Rage Against the Machine and the Night Watchman, Tom Morello. Come on. Walking along the railroad tracks, going someplace there's no going back. Highway patrol choppers coming up over the ridge. Hot soup on a campfire under the bridge. Shelter line stretching around the corner. Welcome to the new world order. Families sleeping in their cars in the Southwest. No home, no job, no peace, no rest. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, searching for the ghost of Tom Show.
Pulls a prayer book out of his sleeping bag. Preacher lights up a butt and takes a drag, waiting for when the last shall be first and the first shall be last. In a cardboard box neath the underpants, you got a one-way ticket to the promised land. You got a hole in your belly and a gun in your hand, sleeping on a pillow of solid rock, bathing in the city's aqueduct. Well, the highway is alive tonight. Where it's headed, everybody knows. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost of Tom Show.
Tom said, Mom, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry newborn baby cries, where there's a fight against the blood and hatred in the air, look for me, Mom, I'll be there.
Wherever somebody's fighting for a place to stand, for a decent job or a helping hand, wherever somebody's struggling to be free, look in their eyes, Ma, you'll see me. Yeah. Well, the highway is alive tonight. Where it's headed, everybody knows. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost to talk to show. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire night, with the ghost of old Tom Joe, with the ghost of old Tom Joe, with the ghost of old Tom Joe.
Wow. That was quite the solo, Darren.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
4 of them. They play back and forth.
Great song
Springsteen plays in
suggestion.
Morella.
Yeah, I think I've
Isn't that a
heard.
great
Yeah, I've heard the song before, but not with.
Tom Morello?
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays when he plays that solo. He just plays on the neck. He's just touching the neck at the end to outdo Springsteen. It's a great video too. You guys.
I've never
watch it.
heard anyone make those kind of sounds with any guitar before. It almost sounded like scratching records for a while there, like somebody was scratching. Like
you got to see him do it.
You know what I mean?
It's amazing to watch him.
Yeah, he's quite cool, man. Like, you know, only thing is, well, I've seen a few things comparable though. The keyboardist for Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Oh my God. What he does with a keyboard is similar. He does crazy stuff. He was even using a knife and fork on his keyboard. He's a madman, I tell you.
He must put it like between his fingers and then go up and down, left and right.
I'm not
You know,
sure.
kinda like-
He was using he used the knife and fork to stick inside certain keys and make them stay on while he was doing other stuff, just droning.
Oh, okay.
That's what he used them for, but I don't know what all. He was prying on them with the knife and fork too, like on the keys. And this was an old, one of those old, I think it's called a Moog, I believe. That's where
Play it later.
Yeah, if I can find a keyboard solo from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, that'd be cool. Yeah, and also Richie Blackmore. He was an incredible solo. Like when he soloed, man, I never seen anyone use to 8-finger hammer-ons.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all 8 fingers he was using, and it was just so many notes coming at you so fast. It was just unbelievable. And it was all like, and they all blended together like a kaleidoscope of sound, man. Okay.
I'm glad you liked it.
I'll write those down for later. Maybe we'll listen to some Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and then what was the other one I said? Yeah, some Richie Blackmore of some sort.
Don't think I ever heard of him. I have to look him up.
Richie Blackmore is from Deep Purple.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Deep Purple has some good music.
I got a vinyl here, I think. If I look around, I might find a vinyl here. Okay. Now, you were going to tell us about your actual... Starting from when you were a kid is what I want to know. What happened to you that was strange and unexplainable, UFOs, ghosts, or whatever, anything paranormal that got you interested in this?
Okay. I was 13 years old, or 12 years old, 13 years old, when my oldest brother died. Got killed in a motorcycle accident.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
Anyway, that's okay. It was just shortly after the funeral, maybe a day or two after, I saw his ghost.
Like in full apparition, like he looked real, or could you see through
the? He had his suit on, the same suit that he had on in his coffin.
Wow!
And he was at the bottom of the staircase, and he was standing at the top.
That's really weird. Why? If the man is dead, how would he wouldn't know what suit he was wearing in the coffin? Would you think? Would you think they were? Do you think people, when they die, they go check out their funeral? That's what some people say they would do. I've heard people say that. You know, I'm gonna when I die, I'm gonna go to my funeral home and I'm gonna see who all comes to the funeral, who's laughing and who's crying. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe people would do that when they die. They'd go to their funeral to see who's there, and sort of say goodbye to them. Yeah, maybe they would. So yeah.
But anyway, we lived about 13 miles east of Regina and about 7-8 miles north of Regina, up on a street called Winnipeg Street. You go on the Trans-Canada, then take a right up this Winnipeg, go out the north side of the city. And about 6-7 miles out there was an old farmhouse that was haunted. And it had been for centuries, according to these people. But anyway, none of us believed at that time that place was haunted. And so a bunch of us decided, we took 2 carloads and we went out to this house. And it was eerie. It was really black, like it was a dark night. But anyway, we went into this old farmhouse, and you could hear the floorboards creaking, and you had this eerie feeling. And it was a nice summer night outside. And the longer we were in there, maybe 5-10 minutes at the most, and you could feel it kind of getting chilly. But we picked different objects, like little things from the house to see, like if it's haunted, because we heard stories like if you take anything from that house and take it home, when you wake up in the morning, those objects are going to be gone. Well, we didn't believe it, but anyway, we took the objects went back to get into our cars, and the hair on the back of our neck stood up, and we turned around, and here's this huge black blob coming at us. And we got in the car, and we took off, and that thing chased us all the way back, like 21 miles or 22 miles, whatever it was, from that farmhouse through the city and back to our house.
What was it?
That small town. Yeah, it followed us right.
No, what was it that was following you? I couldn't understand exactly.
A big black blob. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
I thought you said dog. Blob, you mean?
No, yeah, like a
Blob.
Blob.
B-L-B,
wow.
blob, yeah.
Okay, so I think I know what you saw. I think I've seen similar things where it's sort of like a morphing blob, basically, yeah, and it keeps changing shape.
Yeah, and it just kept, and it kept, like we were doing 80, 90, 100 miles an hour on the Trans-Canada, and that thing was keeping right up with us, right behind us, all the way back. And then we pulled into our yard, and it seemed to disappear.
Were you scared?
Yeah, we were scared. Yeah, extremely. Wouldn't you be scared? Like,
well,
how many people?
I don't know. Not anymore. No, not anymore. Now I don't think I'd be scared anymore. All right, like
there was 2 carloads of us. There's probably about 10 of us.
2 cars, and both cars saw it?
Yeah. Yeah, all of us went into the house. All of us come out, and that's when our hair started standing up on the back of our neck, and we turned around, and that thing was coming. So we jumped in the car, and we took off, and it kept up no matter how fast we're going. It was right behind us. But anyway, we had like cigarette cans and a bunch of other little things, and we took and put them in the house. And eventually, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later, we dozed off. Didn't sleep much, maybe a couple hours, and we woke up. And the story that any objects you took from that house were going to disappear. They disappeared. They were not in our house anymore. So we decided we were going to go back. It was daylight. So around noon, we decided we were going to go back and have a look and see, did that creature get in here and move everything back to where it came from? We went back to the farmhouse, and all the objects that we took were back inside that farmhouse. And we left. We didn't take anything the second time. We left the house and never went back.
Wow, that's pretty intense.
It was.
Was the thing like translucent a bit, so you could sort of see through it a bit, or was it
not at all?
Really? Did it look like it had weight to it?
Any weight?
Weight? Did you see any light shining off of it, or?
No, it was a dark night in the summer. It was almost like a black cloud or whatever. It was just a deep black night in the summer, around midnight. There was no light at all. Even through the city, and that there was no light going off of that creature. Whether it absorbed it or whatever, I don't know.
Did it make any sounds?
No, not at all. We were too driving down the highway 100 miles an hour.
Oh, that's right. You were driving. Okay. And then you said
it kept right up behind us.
That's why I was just going to say next. If this thing could kept up to you when you're driving, that's crazy.
Were your cars following each other?
Yeah, one behind the other.
But everyone saw it.
Yeah.
What'd you guys see when you got back?
We got out of the vehicle, and that thing was there, and then it disappeared. It just vanished.
Do you still talk to your friends about it today? Do you keep in touch with any of them?
2 of them have passed away. Some don't want to talk about it.
I bet. I'm glad you're talking about it.
You know it's a good story when some of your family members don't want to hear about it ever again. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know all about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Experiences like that never leave you.
No.
What do you think it was?
What do I think it was? I think it was some paranormal being that was guarding that house. Like they said, it had been haunted since the 1800s or whatever it was. No one had ever lived in it since whatever happened.
Do you know if it's still there?
That farmhouse?
Yeah.
I haven't been back, so I don't know. I've been back home, but I never go there. No.
Would you ever go back?
No.
Would you take Wolfman there?
No.
I'll go there. I'll go there by myself. Yep.
Would you show Wolfman where it is?
Oh,
we could do.
All right, let's
could do
go down
remote.
there right now, and I'm going to take some recordings from EVPs. All right, yeah.
If I was around the corner from there, I would. I could do a show and I'd go there and I'd do some EVP recordings. That'd be awesome. But then again, if he's warning that strongly, I don't know. Maybe I should maybe not bother.
How long ago was that?
About 50 years ago.
50 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I'm 61.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you were 13 when that happened. What else have you seen? What was the next thing you saw?
Probably the next thing after that was when that UFO came into our town. And my brother and I and a bunch of friends of ours were standing outside. We weren't old enough to get in the bar. None of us were. But we used to go down to the restaurant in the hotel. They had pinball games and everything. And, yeah, we used to go down there every night after supper and play pinball. And we were outside and saw this strange thing up in the sky. And we were watching it. And then it got lower and lower. And there's this big silver-looking thing. It was huge. And no, we weren't. How big?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it this way, probably the size of, you know how long a skating rink is?
Sure.
Okay, that's about how long it was.
Wow. And what happened?
Well, it came down, I don't know how low it was, but we could make out it was almost round. And it was silver, and it seemed to just hover there. And then it moved a little bit, and then it just sat there for a few minutes. And we were just sitting there watching, trying to figure out, okay, is that really real? And we weren't high, we weren't drinking. But yeah, it was real. And it sat there maybe 5 minutes, and then it went poof, and it was gone. And up in the sky, it was gone.
Did it make any noise when it shot off?
No, nothing.
Did it move clouds or?
No. The clouds, I don't know how high the clouds were, but it just went poof, it was gone.
What time? Oh, sorry, I missed it. If you already said it, what time of day was it when this happened? And what was the weather? What was the weather like?
Okay, it was probably around 8 o'clock at night, and it was probably.
So it was dark.
It was in second week of September, so I wouldn't say it's actually really dark. No.
So it was actually happened at dusk.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of interesting.
Were you scared when you saw that, like you were the black blob, or were you guys just more fascinated?
I think we're more fascinated by it because we used to watch that show about Project Blue Book or whatever. I can't remember what the TV show, if it was the same name or not, but it was about the UFOs that the U.S. Air Force used to search for. Like the pilots would see these things, or people would see these UFOs, and they'd report them, and they'd send people. They actually sent officers out to go and talk to everybody to see if there's any truth to what these people were saying. Like, whether the story was true. Did they actually see a UFO or whatever it was?
Right. Project Blue Book. What year was this? 50s?
No, would be in the early 70s or late 60s.
Okay. And what are your feelings about what it was?
Well, it was beyond a shadow of a doubt, it was a UFO and nothing else. No.
So you think it's aliens from another star
Yeah.
system?
Yeah.
What do you
And
think?
what
What
do-
do you
Go
think
ahead.
they wanted? You think they were making themselves known, or did you have any telepathic communication?
No, there was no communication. It just seemed to hover there, and I think they just want to be noticed. I don't think they were there to harm anyone, or they didn't take. Nobody disappeared. No one got taken away or anything.
No lost time?
No, no.
And
None.
how many people were out there watching it?
Just me and my brother, and probably 4 or 5 others.
Wow. Do you ever talk to your brother about it now still?
Yeah, I have bought a number of different books on UFOs.
Have you ever seen one that looks like the one you saw? In any of the books?
Yeah, I was going to say Adamski. I can't remember what his first name is, but anyway, he was an early UFO believer, and he was in Nevada and California, and he was taking pictures of these UFOs, him and his friends, and then he used to lead teams of people out into the desert, and they'd take pictures of these big, huge motherships with the small UFOs coming out. Yeah, it was quite fascinating.
It looked a lot like the one that you saw?
Yeah.
Man, I wish we could get that on Twitter.
Wheels within wheels.
You can,
Time to bring Kurt on.
you can go online and look up pictures of UFOs, and there's pictures from the late 1800s, early 1900s till now of all these spaceships that people have taken photos of, not just in Canada, in the U.S., in Mexico, in New Zealand, Australia, but all over Europe, Great Britain, you name it. Yeah, you can. Those pictures are there. I've seen them.
You should write a book with the UFO theme.
Oh, I love UFOs. I read everything, and my older brother that was there with us saw that one that day. He likes it. He's fascinated with them, and he reads every book I do. In fact, the last book I bought, it was a writer that was writing these books and had these experiences with aliens. He had real relationships. Like, he could understand what they were saying. He lived in Vermont or something like that. In this, can't even remember his name, but it's fascinating.
What
anyway,
are some of your other favorite books about UFOs? Have you ever read The Palladian Mission? I thought that was a good one.
No. I watched a lot of TV shows, but I like looking online and researching and seeing actual pictures that people have taken and submitted to different sites. And because I believe, like, when that show Project Blue Book was on TV, like, people were not imagining that they were seeing aliens. And I used to do a lot of hitchhiking around when I was young. I started when I was 15. In the days of the Vietnam War, and the draft dodgers were coming up to Canada, and they were. I met quite a few of them. And, you'd be out in the middle of nowhere, get stuck trying to hitchhike, and people are lined up and down highways and stuff, and sometimes you'd meet, and then you'd all get together and smoke a joint or 2 or 3 and lay back put your backpack under your head, and you just lay there and you're talking, looking up into the sky, and you see all these objects, like they were zigzagging around, and they seemed to go up and down, and then they just, like a flash, they were gone.
No, wait, you saw more than just this one UFO.
Yeah.
So this is later in the in the early 70s, when the draft. How many other UFOs did you see?
Wow. I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say at least another 5 or 6. I never had it I never saw another one that close up like we did the first time. But
That
I
was
see
the best one.
Yeah. But I do believe there's aliens out there. And if like the Apollo missions and the Gemini missions and stuff like that, they saw things, and you can't tell me that the people up in the space station don't see those things, because they do. And
one of the, like in the video, oh guys, it's 1:30, so we can take another break now if you want, or keep going. That's entirely up to you. But we are going to open up lines now, if that's all right.
Okay.
Can you?
Let's take
are
a
you
break,
willing?
and then we'll open up lines.
Yeah. Okay. Are you willing to take some calls, James?
Sure.
From some. All right. We don't usually get a whole bunch of calls, but we might get one if we're lucky. All right. Okay. I'm gonna put on. Hey, Adam, do you want me to play your song?
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one that Adam Watt. Well, we call him Adam Strange. Adam Strange. I don't know. We still haven't got an answer from the Monster Freaks whether they think that's a suitable name for Adam or if they got a better one. But we all want kind of like these cool stage names, because I started it. We have to have monster names.
Yeah.
Okay, this song is by our own co-host Adam Strange, and this is called I
searched for you.
All right. Okay. I searched for you. That's it. Okay. Okay, everything's set to go. Here we go. wicked, man.
Thanks.
I don't know why it skipped there. That was like a digital skip. I don't know. It's not in the. I've never done that before. Must have been just my computer was glitching there a bit.
Yeah.
Wolfman.
Yeah.
Good song, Adam.
Thanks.
That's pretty cool. How long did it take you to make that?
It took me about a good 3 or 4 days, actually.
Wow.
I had to do the recording of the vocals and the guitar, the bass. I had to do the drums as well, using using virtual instruments for the drums, and then I had to do the mixing and the edit, or the mixing and the mastering and all that kind of stuff. So it takes a long time.
Do you have all the equipment at home?
Yeah. I'm actually using the equipment right now, actually.
Awesome.
Do you play instruments or do you just use the computer?
I play the acoustic, the electric guitar, the piano. The only thing I don't have the physical instruments for is the drums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very talented at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that really like surprised me when, like, well, even your other song too, but that one really surprised me when you gave me that one. I was like, wow. Yeah, that can go somewhere, but I think we need to maybe I could help you write some kind of a bridge for it, or a different part. A change.
Like some
a bridge.
Change. It's all kind of the same.
Yeah, if we put a bridge in there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Adam,
it takes a certain talent to do all that. We're not all born with that musical talent.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, actually. Most of my family actually have been in either bands or solo. They've pretty much all have played guitar, and they've sung. And my sister actually sings and is actually an actress for plays.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're quite a musical family.
Adam, did you have some questions for James?
Yeah, I do. It's about your books. What's one of your favorite lines of dialogue for your books?
Oh, wow. Okay. My new book, The Haunting of Marcasite.
Yeah.
I would have to say it's when they get the storm's happening, and I'm just trying to find. Okay. Exactly 2 weeks after school started, it seemed as if Marcasite was lost to the elements from the dark side, when they had been hidden for so long this summer since the last big storm hit in late spring. Except the storm never left anyone missing or dead, ripped and torn apart and gnawed upon by incisor sharp teeth from the ghoul and werewolf creatures. They had left everyone alone as the vicious, terrible storms wreaked havoc on the residents of Marcasite. Nurse were afraid by the next morning after the storm waned and left just as suddenly as it appeared. What damage had taken place overnight and who disappeared in the storm. As always, the unhallowed, beastly, petrifying creatures became hungry at the same time and swept through the town at will. All of the residents of Marcasite felt or knew inside that someone, or more than one person was going to be lost that night. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You never know where those monsters come from and who's going to. And they find, like, some people are found. There's another town just down the road from Marcasite called Goreville. Now that I could write another book about. And there used to be a stage line way back in my story. It's in there. About the stage line they used to run between Marcasite and Goreville, and all these bad people, the outlaws and that, were killing people. And over the years, people were wondering, like, when all these ghoul and werewolf creatures were attacking during the storm, was it just those lost souls that were killed by those people that were coming back to haunt the town because no one went after the people that killed them? Or was it and those bad people were killed and they didn't make it to hell or to heaven? They got lost in between. It's, yeah, I got quite a storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
What's your favorite thing about writing a book, or what's your favorite moment, like the end
Writing
of it?
a book?
Yeah, that's Adam's question.
Mm-hmm. I think starting to write the story.
When you still have all the possibilities to explore and see where it goes.
Yeah, to have, yeah. I don't know if they can, like, when you first start, I don't think you can have all those answers, but I do write notes. Like I said, I write things down, so I have them. So if I want to change something or I forget something, I can look through my notes or go back and read through the story. But it's the start of the book, to me, is the most important, because that the beginning of the book or the story, you've got to be able to have people interested. You got to hold their attention, so they'll just keep on going. And if you can do that at the beginning of the book, you're going to have them at the end of the story.
And we can get your book on Amazon. It's a real book.
Yeah, you can get the paperback on Amazon. You can get the ebook. You can go to Google Play and get them both. You can go to Barnes and Noble. You probably go to 5,000 other online sites, and you can go to different bookstores, and if it's not in stock, they order it.
That sounds like a great book. Do you think it's better than your first?
Yeah, I do. Actually, it's a better story, I think. Because it's different. I think it's more in depth, in detail, in story compared to my first one. But a lot of people really liked that first one. They liked the ending. And I won't give it away. But, it was the way the story was going. The ending is certainly different than what I imagined it to be when I first started. But it does. Things can change and evolve as you go through it, but you got to be able to hold people at the beginning of your book.
I wish I would have read them before you came on, then I could ask you questions.
You can ask me
give it
anything
away.
you want.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to read his book, but I'm sure that.
But I'm open to coming
one time,
back if you want.
One time, when you come back on, yeah, you can come back on after we read it, and we can talk about it again. That's no problem.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
No biggie. I really actually wanted to talk to you more about your paranormal experiences, because I knew you had some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, I'll tell you something. When I pick guests, I use my
intuition.
My intuition is always right if I listen to it properly.
Yeah. Remember, you asked me before the show started, and you go, "Do you think I have any psychic ability?" And you said you had more questions. So, if you have questions you want answers for before we close,
because otherwise we always say, "Oh crap, I forgot to ask this or that." I was going to ask you about I asked you about your childhood, how it started, right? And if I was also going to ask you if you have any. Do you think you have any kind of special supernatural abilities?
I think all of us in one way or another we can sense whether it be danger or good things or eerie things, especially eerie things. And I got that from my mother. She was a school teacher. And she had a very, very open mind. Trust me, she was very, very smart and intelligent. And yeah, I don't know if it was because her dad came from Germany and her mom come from Russia, and they told her stories. And the gypsies used to travel around and stuff. I don't know where she got her knowledge from. I really don't. But she had lots of it. And she said, all of us have those abilities. And throughout my lifetime, because like I said, I started hitchhiking when I was 15, and that's pretty young, but I didn't care. I just packed my stuff in my backpack, grabbed a sleeping bag, tied it on, and out to the highway I went. And there were certain times in certain places you get into a city because I never, like I was in cities, but not a big metropolis. And you get into different areas and you can sense like there's some kind of danger around the corner. Mm-hmm. You can sense there's something eerie is there. And I have a brother. He lives just out, well, between Calgary and Edmonton in Red Deer. And this is a true story. I went through it. If you want to know about paranormal, his house that he bought a house in Red Deer when he graduated from SAIT in 91. He did not know the house was haunted at all. He bought it. He bought the house, and him and his girlfriend at the time, they moved in. And weird things started to happen, he said. And every time he felt this presence, like the house would get instantly ice cold. And whenever that being or whatever it was left, it was just like an instant, it would go from being ice cold back to being normal. And it was after I've had a number of heart attacks, but one time we had a gathering in Red Deer, so I went down with one of my brothers that was in Fort Mac at the time. And we all went down to my brother's place. They all went to the bar, and I couldn't drink. I just got out of the hospital a couple of days before that. So I said, okay, I'm going to stay and sleep on your couch while you guys are gone. In about 10, 15, 20 minutes after they left, the house started getting cold. And I feel, well, I just had a heart attack. I was on blood thinners and stuff. It's normal to feel a little chilly. But that feeling got cold. And I had a blanket and everything, and I couldn't get warm. And it was like that, I'm going to say, for at least 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden, whatever it was, it went from being ice cold to being back to normal. So when my brother...
Yeah, I've encountered that before.
Back, I told him about it. And I asked him, I said, do you have a ghost? I said, yes or no? He goes, yeah. I said, then that's what I felt. And he said, yeah, that's what happens when that spirit... There was a guy who was killed in that house. And his spirit stayed in that house. And, you can read on other murders and stuff that sometimes the spirit doesn't cross over. It's got nowhere to go, so it stays where it died.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true.
And yeah, that's a very common thing that I've heard many times where people feel the temperature drop. Did you see any shadows or anything, or any kind of
it was just
lights or anything?
It went ice cold. I never saw nothing, never heard anything. And that's what my brother said. It goes cold. He's never seen whatever that spirit is. He's never seen it. He said him and his girlfriend, they used to buy groceries. They'd go out for supper or something, come back. He said groceries were missing, things were missing.
Wow.
They get up in the morning.
Yeah, that sounds more like you had your house broke into.
No, but they would wake up in the morning, he said, and everything was back. He said like that spirit wants to play games. He was never did anything to hurt them.
Oh,
until
that's like leprechaun kind of behavior, eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It's funny. It's funny you were cold when you were used to 40 below outside.
it's it's an unnatural cold. It's a very eerie, bone chilling cold. It's
Okay.
not like the cold when it's 40 below. Like you dress for it, and you still that wind will still bite you. The temperature will bite you. You can feel it. I don't care how. And I was in the army. I was stationed in Calgary with the first Pats way back when I was young and foolish and adventurous. But yeah, being in that house with whatever that thing was is a different feeling than being cold from the weather. Nothing like it at all.
Wolfman, can I change the subject?
Go ahead.
No, actually, yeah. I wanted to ask him one more question.
Sure, sure.
What's the first? Oh no, that doesn't pertain. Go ahead, Darren. I'll ask that one later.
Well, he mentioned something at 15. He took off and went hitchhiking.
Yeah.
I've got to know what made you do that. Where'd you go? What'd you do?
Okay.
For how long?
Sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, just around Canada, Western Canada.
In the summertime, I take it.
I did it in early spring, March. I hitchhiked from northern BC to Regina. I got to Regina, it was minus 30 something, minus 35. I wasn't dressed for it. It was nice in BC when I left Cornell. It was nice. But yeah. What did
your parents think of a 15-year-old just taking off hitchhiking?
My mom and dad had already broken up and got divorced. My mom couldn't stop me, and I wouldn't let her. I was stubborn, boneheaded,
and you just said, I'm taking off. I want some adventure.
Yeah, I said, I'm going. She goes, okay. She says, you can always come back. And I'd pack up whatever I wanted, my sleeping bag. And eventually, one of my older brothers was in the army, got out, he gave me this First World War German bayonet. It couldn't harm a flea, it was dull as could be, but I took it with me just in case, you never know. But I'd walk out to the Trans-Canada, stick my thumb out, and away I'd go. People, back then, it was easy to get rides. Everybody was friendly. And I don't know, maybe from watching all the shows about the hippies and all the stories about the Vietnam War and going to San Francisco with flowers in your hair and stuff, those old songs and stuff, it made me want to go travel and see what was on the other side.
And you just traveled for like 3 months, and then you'd come back and then do it again the next summer? How many times did you do that?
Off and on for about 3 years until I joined the Army.
Did you ever get into a situation where you thought you were going to die or freeze to death or couldn't find a place to sleep or got booted or put in jail or anything?
Okay. There was once I was hitchhiking with one of my younger brothers to get him back home from BC. Didn't trust him. He was too young to be on the road by himself. And, well, he was 15 and I was 15 when I did it, but I just felt older and more knowledgeable. You know, I felt safe. I never worried. But anyway, we're going through Chilliwack in the Lower Mainland. And just before we got there, some hitchhiker had robbed one of the drive-in restaurants. And the cops were stopping every hitchhiker and searching everybody.
Sure.
I figured, oh, no. Because I won't tell you what I had, but I'll tell you, I had some weed in both my shoes. And because I figured that was the safest place, not going to make me take my shoes off. Mm-hmm. And they did, and they searched our socks all the way up, all the way through our backpacks. But didn't say take your shoes off. And there was another time we were going through Calgary, and these guys picked us up and said, well, you know, I think it was about 7 o'clock at night. And they said, you're not going to get a ride tonight. You know, come stay at our place. So we went. They seemed like decent people. I didn't sense any danger or anything at that time.
Uh-huh.
Well, 3 hours later, after we ate supper, late supper, and then started getting this eerie feeling that getting woozy. And then it dawned on me, they gave us, like,
They roofied you.
yeah. So we got out of there and we made it, I don't even know how far to whatever overpass it was. Anyway, we made it to this overpass in Calgary, and we slept underneath and woke up the next morning and we were back to normal. But it was some kind of a roofie.
Oh God! How
But
about
that's
any?
the only time it happened.
Did you ever get in an accident or like somebody that was a terrible driver or just drunk or something crazy?
No, never.
How many times were you taken in and just treated like family?
Wow. I have to say probably 10 times, maybe 12 times. I had people like you stuck, say, in Medicine Hat, and that was one place you didn't want to get stuck. You could end up on the highway. You get there, you could be there for 12 hours before you got a ride out. That's how bad Medicine Hat was at one time. And there was a lineup of hitchhikers. And then, anyway, we went to this restaurant, okay, and I sold a Blue Jean vest for 2 cups of coffee. And the waitress goes, okay. She goes, I'll tell you what. She left. She said, I'll get you something. And I said, no, I got no money. We just got enough for the coffee. That's it. She goes, oh, it's okay. So didn't think nothing of it. And then she comes, she's got a cheeseburger and fries for both of us. I said, we can't afford to pay for it. She said, that's okay. She goes, if you don't get a ride by 10:30 tonight, all you have to do is come back here. You can come back and stay at my place. I'll give you breakfast in the morning and I'll give you a ride to the highway. But yeah, that happened, I don't know how many times. I even had one guy, his name was J.L. Coulter. He owned a trucking company. And he was about to retire. And I don't know why he decided to take this trip. But,
sorry to interrupt you, but can you save that story for after the break?
Sure.
And I got to, what was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about, the lines are open anyway. Everyone, the number is
775-990-8447. Call the Wolfman and talk to Mr. James Best right after this.
Oh yeah, we got a song from we got a request from Wisteria Whisper, and this is gonna be Sarah Brightman, Eden. I don't think I've heard it. Rock.
I've heard that name.
Oh, here we go. Let's try it out.
Spooky, alright.
Did you ever think of me as your best friend? Did I ever think of you? I'm not complaining. Did you ever think of me? I'm complaining. I never tried to feel, I never tried to feel this vibration. I never tried to reach,
Cool. We're gonna
I
get.
never tried to reach you either.
Okay.
And here we are with, we have a caller. I believe it's one of the hashtag DM talkers. This is Mark Hanapepe, isn't it?
Hey, hi, Wolfman. How are you? And how to everybody too? Yeah, the
We're
question
good.
I had is,
Oh,
during
we're
the discussion-
fantastic,
early discussion-
fantastic, man. Right on.
During the earlier discussion, they were saying that they can never get a clear picture of a UFO. Now, my understanding is the reason they're always hazy is because these things are fading in and out all the time, and they somehow have a pulse or electrical current that, you know, it just doesn't go well with your shutter speed. That's why you're getting all this haze. Like, in fact, if I got a clear shot of a UFO, that would make me wonder.
Good point. I agree. From what I've
But
seen,
that's what
that
it is.
they
Like,
have that kind of a.
I've heard discussions on this, and it's something to do with phasing in and phasing out. There's an electrical current or a graviton or whatever the thing they call it, and you're never going to get a clear shot of these things. Now, as far as the smoking gun goes, well, you know, when the second astronaut to walk on the moon says, you know, they're up there, I mean, that to me is a smoking gun. A UFO over the second or third busiest airport in the U.S. for what, an hour? The Chicago UFO? Like, that to me is a smoking gun. The Phoenix Lights? Yeah, those aren't flares. You know?
Same in LA at the LA.
So you have to build. It's like building a case in court. You know, you have to bring in this, and this, and then you come to a conclusion. You know, it's not just one thing. It's a group of things. Anyway, those are the 2 points that I wanted to clarify: is the smoking gun part and why we can't get a clear shot of these UFOs.
Great. I'm going to ask the guest, do you have any comments on that, what he just talked about?
Yeah, Mark, it's James Best. I've gone online and I punched in like pictures of UFOs, and they on the site, whatever site, I can't remember which one, but they have pictures going back to the late 1800s of some of the early UFOs that people had seen. And back then, if they were using box cameras or whatever, the pictures were clear. And ever since like that period of time up, and I don't even know what year they stopped taking them, but the pictures, you can see these UFOs clear as can be. There's no distortion or nothing.
Maybe there was something they were using, like, you know, sometimes technology is not the best thing, James. Maybe there's something in our digital cameras, you know, that maybe there's back
Yeah.
the simpler the machinery that they were getting the picture because of the powder they were using back then or the flash that they were using back then. It's just a wild guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, guess what I'm doing right now, guys? I'm chatting with Mr. Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio. Well,
Awesome.
yeah, and he's on live right now too. We're both. He's on the West Coast, and I'm on the East. Or he's on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. Anyway, yeah,
Cool.
similar kind of. It's pretty good actually. I listened to it.
Canadians rule.
Yeah, I listen to his show Monday, Friday regularly, and he listens to mine. Anyways, he is our guest tomorrow. Mr. Dave,
Awesome.
he is our guest tomorrow. Mr. Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio is coming on Monster Castle tomorrow, and he's had all kinds of experience
cool.
too. Yeah, he is coming on. I'm just about to post it on Twitter right now, and I think God of Thunder is going to freak right out. Wolfman and Dave Scott together on the show.
Oh yeah, they have a bromance, don't they?
Well, no, what? Okay, now I can do this. What is it? There's my effect. I got to get my effects back out. Okay, you guys, do you have? Oh yeah, do you have any question for the guest though, Mark?
To be honest with you, I didn't catch. I just tuned in, so
okay.
I don't know what James's expertise is.
So you call my show and you don't know what the fuck is going on?
Well, I'm a quick learner. Well,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, at least he called.
I know.
Yeah,
at least we got to
called
know.
and
Thank
it's
you
on my
for
guy.
your call. Thank you, Mark Catapepe. Thank you for your call. There we go. That's the proper one.
I guess the only thing with James is there was a fellow, I forget who he was speaking to, but he wrote a book about things going on in BC between Kamloops and Golden. There's a town there, Revelstoke.
Yeah.
He wrote a book about Revelstoke, and he says there's some sort of portal, James, in the Revelstoke area that is it's not a good place to be. In other words, if you're alone some night driving through, you just may not get to where you want to get. Have you heard of anything like that, James?
I've hitchhiked through Revelstoke quite often, and I can't say I never experienced. I never heard anything
to do with a portal opening up to the outside world, or weird stuff going on in Revelstoke. Has anything like that gotten back to you?
I know there's been some murders over the
Revelstoke
years
and
in
the surrounding
Revelstoke.
area, because it's in the middle of nowhere, is what I'm told.
Yeah, it is. It's just on the other side of the Rockies.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the Rockies, but yeah.
Right.
It's a nice little place. But I know there's been murders that have happened over the years, but I've never heard anything about UFOs in
UFOs. Well, it's not just UFOs. It's just like a bunch of paranormal. The fellow's takers is basically a portal going on, and that's basically the easiest way I can relate it to you is if something is coming in at will.
Yeah. He's getting another phone call. He's getting a phone call, and he said, "Hold on." James got a phone call.
This fellow grew up in Revelstoke too, and he's got connection there, so he's not an outsider. He grew up in the town, and there's a lot of people that'll have stories and this and that. So, I can't remember the fellow's name, but he put out a pretty good case. That there is. It made me think twice about stopping in Revelstoke. I'll tell you that.
Like I said, I've hitchhiked through there a lot when I was younger and stuff. I never experienced anything bad, but I know I've heard it on the news and stuff.
That area, nothing weird.
No, but that doesn't mean to say that things like that don't happen there, and maybe people don't open to outsiders. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
I'm sorry.
the thing I
you're
can
in the
think
Red
of.
Deer
They
area.
keep it to themselves.
Is that right?
Pardon?
Are you in the Red Deer area?
North of Edmonton right now.
Oh. I know. My sister-in-law is up in Sylvan Lake area, so I know a little area about the area a little bit.
Sylvan Lake's nice.
hmm Yeah, you know what? I was in Jasper not too long ago, and the reason for being in Jasper is I wanted to see if I could see the Northern Lights, which I didn't, or the other thing I wanted to see was maybe a UFO, and well, the thing was though, like we were already in the dark, and we just drove a little further down, and you know what? I got weirded out. I got to tell you, No, but I'm telling you, it was so dark that anything that like I'm a city guy, right? So anything that like made a noise or a branch cracking or like anything at all, like man, your hand was literally on the door handle.
It's a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
If
if you're not used to the country like that.
You know what? I said, what if I asked them to come down and they do come down, now what? Like I've got my wife here, and how am I going to, protect us two? And I thought, you know what? I just called the whole thing off. I said, you know what? I don't need all this excitement.
Mm-hmm.
I almost did that in Nevada too. I was out in Lake Las Vegas, and I had this. I wanted so bad to go out to the desert. All I had to do was drive 15 minutes west, and a voice kept telling me like, "Don't do it, don't do it." And you know what? Even if it was only 15 minutes out west, I said to myself, this is maybe a little more, as you said, Wolfman, more than you bargained for. So I.
So,
I
Mark,
just got
have you been to
weirded out,
Area
and
51?
I just put my tail between my legs and just went home and decided to just, watch something on TV about aliens. Now, Willie, is that Yuck Nasty or whatever? That's a different guy, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to get back to the trucking company story before we went on the break.
Yes, please, let's do it.
He said he'll come on when he feels like it, so hopefully he comes on. It's good radio. I hope he's listening. Usually he only listens to the late show. I don't know.
It'll be 11:15 there.
Well, I mean, I haven't had that much paranormal. I did see a ghost once. Just a dark object that streaked across the room. No head, no legs, just a middle torso type of deal. Dark. Just how can I explain it to you? I wasn't scared at all. I was more fascinated. that would be a bit much for me. You know, but you know, like my first thing was to try to dismiss it. You know, like okay, like what you know, like trying to figure out what it was. You know, like okay, the TV's off. Okay, we're up high, so no cars can, you know, headlights can go. Like you start thinking, well, can't be that, can't be that, can't be that. You know, so you know.
Yeah, I'm here. What happened with the trucking? What happened with the trucking company guy?
Okay. I was heading west through Calgary. I was on the east side of Calgary on the number one. He went by me, and about, I don't know, 2-3 minutes later, I got another ride. And I think it took me just on the about half an hour outside of Calgary. And I was standing on the highway. Anyway, we passed that trucker, and I don't know how he recognized me, but he pulled over as soon as he saw me. And anyway, his name was J.L. Coulter, and it said J.L. Coulter Trucking. And he was probably 65. And anyway, we were driving down the highway, and he was saying, you know, I don't usually pick up hitchhikers. He said, but something told me you were a good guy. Now, that was weird, but in a good way. And we got to Sycamoose later that night, and he goes, well, I'll tell you what. He said, you get a room. He said, stay overnight in the morning. He was going south or whatever, or north. Anyway, he said, I'll get you, because I was going down to the Lower Mainland to Vancouver. He said, I know lots of truckers. He said, I'll get you a ride in the morning. So I said, okay, fair is fair. Like I wasn't going to say no to something like that. You don't get offers like that. And when you do, you should take them and be grateful. So, okay. He got a room. I got a room. I had money. I could get up in the morning. I went to pay my bill. He had already paid it. He was waiting in the restaurant for me. He bought me breakfast, and he said, like he said, he was going to get me a ride to the coast. And he did. He got me a ride.
He put out the word with the other truckers.
Yeah. But he knew this guy, and the guy was going to the coast, and he asked him, you owe me a favor, whatever. I don't know how it transpired. But anyway, the guy said, okay, I'll give him a ride. So anyway, the other guy didn't really want me in his truck. He thought I was just a hippie because I had long hair, and he didn't like long-haired people. Anyway, we started going down through the Fraser Canyon. And up until then, I had never been down the Fraser Canyon.
That's beautiful.
And I told him that. And then his ears just perked up when I said that. And he just started telling me the history of all the places as we were going through. And, behind Hell's Gate, all this, and how they built the railway, and all the Chinese and stuff like that. It was awesome.
What an experience to have when you're 15.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get stuck out overnight where you almost froze to death, or did you ever almost get hit by a car or almost die? Not
hitchhiking, no.
That's great. Did you ever read a book called The Peace Pilgrim? Ever heard about it?
Now,
No.
I'm sorry, what decade would that have been, James? What when you were 15? Are we talking the 70s here that you were doing this?
Yeah.
About 1970.
Yeah, a little more relaxed back then too, though, eh?
Yeah, it was. Like I said, that the draft dodgers were in Canada. There was more and more coming up because they didn't want to go to Vietnam. And like they were really friendly people. They were hitchhiking all across the country. There was no fear of anyone.
Sure,
like if
70s,
you were driving, you wanted to stop and give someone a lift. There was no fear of nothing.
Maybe 25 million of us.
Yeah.
'61.
58.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everybody put up their thumb, and then it just like all of a sudden just stopped.
Yeah. Wow. Are you going to start? Oh, I know who sings. Yeah, Sunshine. Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. Are you going to San Francisco? I think that's the name of the song. Yeah.
Doesn't CCR have a hitchhiker song?
Sweet
That was the
Hitchhiker.
Mamas and
Yeah.
Papas, I think, wasn't it?
I think that's what it was called.
There
Sweet
you go,
Hitchhiker.
Mamas and Papas.
Might have been.
So do you still have the
CCR.
travel
Mamas
bug?
and Papas. He was
Uh,
one of the singers was a Canadian from Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Oh man, they can't even hear me on
Hey,
that.
Lulu Bell.
Lulu
Ciao.
Bell. Sorry, the crowd couldn't hear me. I had my mute on. So, Lulu,
Ciao,
Lulu Bell
Bell.
in the chat room says she used to hitchhike too, and I was just gonna say, which one of you guys would not pick up Lulu Bell? We definitely would all pick her up. I think.
Yeah, we should say hi to the ladies. Hey, hi, Wisteria, and Lulu
Hi, Lulu
Bell,
Bell.
and Tiffany, and who else may be listening? Rhonda. Rhonda's a big fan.
Yeah, I don't know if she's listening, and she should be, but
Well,
also,
she
you know.
I believe her story. She works. She's in the ER.
Oh yeah.
She works nights in the ER. And
Well, that's Jeff. He gets
Phoenix,
switched
one
around
of
too.
the
That-
warm-
Yeah, and there's also what's her name? Zombie Cupcake.
Yeah, Zombie.
Yeah, she almost came on the show one day. She will yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I almost
What's
had
her
her
story?
on. She's just somebody from hashtag DM Talk, where a lot of us first met from this group that were, and she's just really smart. She knows a lot of shit.
Yeah, we've kind of known
Awesome.
each other now for about a year, kind of, eh? Like, it's kind of weird, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
from the time, well, basically from the time Art came back. We've been waiting 2 freaking years for the guy to come back.
And then he left us high and dry, but now we got a bunch of new friends, and
Yeah, we got, what, 2-3 months out of the deal, and then, yeah, so that's how we sort of, yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
But we all have, you know, we obviously have a taste for the peculiar and the unknown and you know, just the weird,
Abnormal.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? The nice thing is we can come here and nobody's going to make fun of you. Like you know, you try talking to let's call them outsiders, and you know, you even bring it up, and they kind of look at you funny, you know, and you know, there's no point, you know, like they're not as educated as far as what is going on and all the history of UFOs and the number of people and the abductions and all the craziness that goes on with it. You know, and,
Did you ever see that
like you have
that
to,
movie?
you know, do your work.
Yeah. Remember that there was a movie, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, about those. I think they're in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon. There were loggers.
Oh,
And one guy.
Oh, you're
got
talking about
abducted.
Travis Walton, Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, that guy's he's not lying. Something happened to him.
No.
No, definitely.
You just look at the guy. You know, these are tough like the young tough woodsmen. You know, like they don't need this aggravation. They don't need this excitement.
No,
No,
they didn't. They didn't want
They
it.
thought they had killed him. They thought they had killed their friend, and you know they're waiting for them to break down and tell them where the body was. So to them, when he showed up, it was great. You know, like our hands are clean of this.
Yeah.
Like, who would want to make up a story like that and have their ass hauled in front of the police station and being suspected of foul play for 4 or 5 days until the guy shows up naked down the road?
Yeah. It was. I've seen that a couple of times. It was an awesome story. But
yeah, but why was he naked? I didn't know he ended up naked. I know he ended up in a phone booth or something like that. I remember him saying, but I didn't know he was naked.
Well, the aliens had him naked in that whatever that ship he was in, and he ended up breaking that cocoon, and then he was floating around, and I don't know how he got transported back to Earth, but I remember him being like he was naked. He phoned his friends. I don't where did he get the money, whatever. I don't know, or how he made that call. But when they went to get him, he was naked and they covered. They had a blanket
but that's the impression that
covered up. Didn't they not?
And
hang on, Mark. Please don't interrupt the guest.
The circumstances was I guess whenever this thing took off, the blast actually knocked him out, so that it actually saved his life.
But Mark, you can't interrupt our guest because you're talking over top of him, and you know what happens then. You know.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't hear the other guest. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't hear him?
No.
Sure, you can.
Who? Okay, talk.
Okay. We were talking about the movie Fire in the Sky.
Right.
And about one guy that got abducted and disappeared, and then he comes back and he phones his buddies and he's naked and
Have you ever
scared shitless. And
the real story, the one he told on Art, is so much different. I don't think he was naked when he came back, but he was thirsty, I believe. And none of the ship stuff was the same as what really happened. He said it was real clinical up there. It wasn't all nasty, kind of cocoony, weird. And then he also talked about the other aliens, which I thought was key to the story, which wasn't in the movie at all. The Nordics.
Okay.
We need to get them on our show. That would be like my dream guest.
Yeah, I would like to talk to someone like that that, was abducted, had that experience and came back. Cause
he's got a new movie out. It's like just a documentary called Travis. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
I heard it's really good too. I was just going to mention that. It's more like realistic than the movie. The movie was it wasn't totally 100% accurate with Travis's story.
There's a lot of differences.
Yeah, like the ending is a huge difference. I don't remember the movie. I watched it 2-3 times, but I don't actually really remember it very well anymore. So I don't know. I can't really say much about it, but more than that, I just know that Travis, he said many times, and he still does. He tours all over the place now. So, and he'll openly geez, I might even be able to. I could invite him on the show. He might even do it. Yeah, I could invite him on. There's nothing. I don't know. Anybody know his email or his Twitter or something? Send it to me, and I'll invite him on.
Let's see if we should all look for it. He'd be a heck of a guest. Oh yeah, that'd be interesting to talk to him.
Yeah, because like Wisteria says, there's a lot of twisted info on his story.
Mm.
Yeah, there's this person says this person says that, but then this guy will talk to you, man. If you want to hear it from him. Yeah, we could invite him on. He'll probably do it. He's always traveling around doing conferences, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard him on the radio much, but he does.
Maybe we would have better luck at getting Mike on.
Is that another one of who's that?
That's his best friend. That married his sister and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one at the end of the movie, drove all the way back up to the spot where it happened.
Up on that ridge.
Yeah, and then they kind of made peace.
Yeah.
And he's been on the show with Travis before. That'd be cool if we could get him. It'd be probably easier.
Yeah. Because he would know what he went through when he came back, what shape he was in, and
I'd rather get just the aliens on. Why don't we just get the aliens on?
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Go straight to the source.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, you think that's the source. Well, the real source is the bloody aliens. So let's get them on here, man. Why not? Let's see
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, you'd have it pretty much an exclusive.
Take us to your leader.
Yeah, I think they can. There's some creatures here.
Call 1-800-ALIENS.
There in the dark. And
You guys suck.
Good to talk to you, Adam, if you're still there. Hey, Wolfman, have a good night. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
no.
Have yourselves, good
You
night.
forgot about Baldar, the alien. Don't forget about Baldar, the alien.
Thanks for calling in, Mark.
Mark, you totally, like the alien comes and now you're going to leave. What a bummer, man. Well, let's put on some music.
All right.
All right, yeah.
I have to take some medication and go to bed.
Oh, you do? All right. Yeah. Well, then we're going to say goodnight to James Best, and an amazing author and an amazing person to talk to, actually, an experiencer. And there's nothing better than that, is hearing it from just normal folks like you and me. I like those kind of stories the best. Those are the best ones, man. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing that with us. That was amazing.
Absolutely.
And I thank you, Mark, or Mike, for asking me to come do an interview. You blew my mind that night, and I'm awful glad that we did this. I really enjoyed it. And I'll come back. All you gotta do is just ask, and I will do it.
Hey, if you ever
I got one.
You can stay with me.
I got one more question I wanted to ask. And
Go ahead.
that is, do you know anything, like, have you studied werewolves much? And do you know where the first earliest written or stories come from and where that is?
I really don't know the first time, but if you believe the stories about like Romania and Yugoslavia, Transylvania, I know Transylvania doesn't really exist, but it might. But somewhere around Romania, I remember reading stories, and I think I even watched a couple old movies about werewolves, people changing into werewolves, whether it was just gypsies telling those stories or where they came from. I don't know. But did I ever study them? No. I didn't. When I sat down to write my book and I created the ghouls and the werewolves, it was just whatever I came up in my mind. Maybe it was part of what I saw on TV over the years in movies.
It's probably better.
I never did any research, no.
That's cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to stop you from going and taking your pill. So, I think you probably got to go, sir?
Yeah.
And yeah,
but I'll come back anytime you want.
I was just gonna say that you're welcome back anytime. Just tweet me or Skype me, and I'll eventually see it.
Okay.
James,
yes.
You should write a book about your hitchhiking adventures.
You're not the only one who said that.
I'd love to read them.
One day, you never know, I might just do that. But I got the one I'm working on, The Depth Within, and then I promised a friend of mine from back home I'd write a Western for him. Because he says you can't find them anywhere nowadays. So,
well,
those are my
I know
projects.
I know I'm going to get a copy of that one, the second one you wrote. What's the name of it again?
The Haunting of Marcasite.
I got a terrible short term, but I got to be told about 10 times, and then I never forget it ever again.
Okay, The Haunting of Marcasite. The Haunting of Marcasite.
That's it. Push it.
Haunting of Marcasite. Haunting of Marcasite. I got it.
Write it down.
I'm gonna do better.
I'll tweet it to you.
Here we
Or
go.
I'll send it to you on Skype.
Can you
Hey,
hear that?
thank you guys very much.
All right. Haunting
You're welcome.
of
Thank you.
Marcasite.
It was
really cool.
meeting both of you, Adam and
Marcasite.
Darren.
Haunting
Well,
of
great talking to you.
Marcasite.
A great
Likewise.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, bye for now.
Good night, sir.
Okay.
Thanks again.
You're very
Wow,
welcome.
that was a great time, man.
Yeah,
I
it was awesome.
enjoyed it. I want to do it again. Trust me. I
Oh
enjoyed it.
yeah, for sure. Anytime. I'll give you a date. Hook. I've already got the next month booked ahead. I got about, but I can like not next month, the month after maybe. Just tweet me
Barry?
out. We'll set up a date.
I have surgery on the 19th of January, so you don't book anything around there.
No, yeah. You can pick a date if you book it ahead. Like I said, anything in February's open right now. I got January filled up. February's wide open. But so whoever gives me a date,
Your first
come,
date in
first serve.
February, send it to me. I'll come back.
Alrighty.
Hey, James, let us know night before or the show before you go in for your surgery. We'll put out good vibes for you.
Okay. I can
We'll
do
have
that.
Hysteria do it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Sounds great. Okay, thanks again for everything, you guys. It's been awesome.
Haunting
And I really do want to come
of
back.
Marcasite.
I enjoyed
It's been an honor.
Haunting of Marcasite. Haunting of Marcasite.
it. Okay, good night.
Good night.
Okay, bye. Oh, bye.
I'm doing this. I'm doing a rap sort of thing. I guess I'm not really rapping. I don't know. What's rapping? Oh boy.
We need a caller.
No, we don't. We haven't. Oh, we got Kurt coming. He's gonna call in a minute. He's online now. I'm gonna.
good.
I'll see if I can get him on after, and hopefully he's been listening. We'll let. I was gonna ask him if he wants to do the positive criticism corner, and then rip me apart.
There we go.
He could do it religiously. That'd be funny too. I could argue with that. I could definitely argue with that. It just has to be a heated argument. That's all we need.
Yes.
Okay, what am I supposed to do next? I got something in line. Did I?
Got a song?
Yeah, I had something. Yeah, in mind. It was gonna. Oh yeah, I never searched it yet. Yeah, I'm not doing my homework.
Haunting of Marcasite. Haunting of Marcasite.
I think it's Marcasite. I don't know. Deep Purple or Emerson Lake and Palmer.
Deep Purple.
You rather hear Deep Purple than Emerson Lake and Palmer right now?
I want to hear the fork keyboard guy.
Oh, that's Emerson Lake and Palmer. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna search that, and then I'm gonna search keyboard solo. Yeah, if we could find this, man.
Marcasite. Haunting at Marcasite. Haunting at Marcasite.
Come on, Adam, help me out. You can sing.
Adam, what's your favorite part of writing a book?
The journey.
The whole thing?
Yeah. Yeah. The journey from creating the initial outline of the story to the journey of the characters and the ending.
Oh, here it is. He's punishing his organ. Yeah.
We could have an author show, like a bunch of fiction writers. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, his name is Keith Emerson. Yeah, and he's probably the wickedest keyboard I've ever heard. Oh yeah, there's this one. Let's see. There's one called Knife Edge, and I'm sure the other one that says organ solo. I could see he's smashing things. Let's try that one. He's smashing things. Here he goes. See, now he was just stabbing it and beating the shit out of his keyboard. So cool. How does he do that? No, he spray paints it. Jumping on the thing. Okay. Oops. Did I, oh, it just ended like that. Yeah, it just ended abruptly. That's strange. Yeah, it's over. Oh.
We got a caller.
Oh, that's right. We have
Aurelius has arrived.
Who do we got?
Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius is one of our co-hosts, so that doesn't count. But how you doing, Marcus?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Did you listen to the show?
I listened to the beginning.
The writer talk.
Yeah, I listened to like about the first hour.
Have you ever written a book?
No, not a book. I wrote a paper.
You could probably. I don't think Darren knows some of the cool things that you've invented, like electric bicycles and things like that.
Oh yeah.
You should tell Darren a bit about that. I bet you.
I got into that about 15 years ago. Kind of wanted an electric car, but there were none around back then. They were like crushing them all.
Yeah.
And so I was on the Yahoo groups that were into that electric vehicle stuff, and eventually I got into recumbent bikes, and then
I have recumbent bikes.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I've had I had the 3-wheel Sun Easy one, and I have a Bike E, and I've had
cool. I know. Yeah, I know those.
Yeah.
I got the Sun Tandem.
Yeah. Yep, I know that one. So
That's
you made it electrical?
It's my SUV.
Oh wow!
It's got a trailer, a Bob trailer. That's a pusher trailer, and the solar panel.
How much power do you get out of it when you're going up hills and stuff? Does it take you all the way up?
Well, you get about almost. You get about 2 horsepower almost. It's definitely better than just pedaling if you got a bad knee or whatever.
Have you seen the new ones? The pedal assist, where you just pedal and you can adjust how much it helps you.
Yeah, I'm more of a motorcycle guy. Like I like the throttle, because I like to blend kind of at will, like however I feel at the moment.
Right. Well, that's kind of how it is.
Oh,
you can adjust. You can fly up a hill. I mean, just like it feels like you're pedaling on a flat surface, but you can go like 30 miles an hour uphill. It's amazing.
Sometimes
I can
like
fly
to
in my dreams. Can you guys? I can fly in my dreams. Why can't I fly right now? I don't get it.
Oh yeah.
They went down in price too, because they were like $5,000. Now they're like $2,000. So.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a dream that's so real that when you wake up you're confused?
Yes. I've woken up. I don't know where I am. You don't even know if it's
the reality that you're in or where the freak you are or anything, man. That's the weirdest sensation, and I think it's the coolest thing. I think that's when really strange shit can happen to you too, because you're not sure if you're dreaming or not. So, in your dreams, if you're like me, then you have control of your dreams. And then you just start thinking, well, I can do anything, right? I can do anything.
I got to tell you what happened this morning. I think I had an out-of-body experience.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Tell us.
It was a short one.
Okay.
I have lucid dreams. I've been having lucid dreams for years. And,
first, I want to say something, because I got to say this. Because it freaked me out when you told me that you saw me in your dream writing something down.
Because, that was the UFO.
Yeah, but the freakiest thing is, though, is that day is the day I started doing notes for the shows ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Ahead, not during. I started doing them ahead and thinking about how to make each show better and questions to ask or whatever, I started doing my research more. And that's the same day you had that dream. And I really didn't pick up a pen until that day, so it's kind of freaky, man.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. It was like the UFO was like a bubble. It was like a sphere, but you could see through the middle, and it had like a luminous ring, kind of. And
did it have wheels within wheels?
No. It was just like a night bubble, if you can imagine that. It was night, stars, and everything, but there was just a bubble, and it was moving, kind of like it was under intelligent control. And I was like, "Hey, look at that, Wolfman!" And you were like, not even like hardly. You were just glancing up at it, but you were writing down like furiously, like drawing pictures and stuff. It was interesting.
Yeah. What were you saying about your lucid dream?
Oh, the one this morning. I don't know like the formal definition of out of body experience, but it was. I was going down the hallway. It was night, dark, and then there's a window in the front bedroom that looks out to the front yard. So I go into that bedroom. And it's dark outside, but the street lights are kind of lighting it up. And I see these silhouettes of these like bikes in the front yard. And I'm like, what the hell did I... Because I parked my bike out in the yard during the day to charge up. And did I leave the tandem out? And I'm like, no. And then I see these like shadowy figures. I'm like, what the hell? But it was like crystal clear. It wasn't like any dream. It was like you could see all sorts of details. I mean, and then I like, this has got to be a dream. And then I woke up. But it was fairly short. But I'd never seen anything so crystal clear like that in any of my dreams.
It seems to happen more like in the morning. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. At least those are the ones you remember.
I know. I always remember them right away, and then I forget. You should really write them down right away if you want to remember them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is amazing, though, how complex our dreams can be.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have a dream, and it seems to make sense. It'll be really complex, and it'll make sense to me, but it really makes no sense when I wake up.
Hey, Adam, have you had a lucid dream yet?
I've had many lucid dreams, actually.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, because I keep thinking, every time you say I got to go to sleep, I keep thinking pleasant lucid dreams, buddy.
Yeah.
So we got to wrap it up here, guys. 5 minutes left, and I think I got about 7 minutes on this. But yeah, if anybody wants to donate to our show, we're gonna be starting something. We're gonna be donating half of any money that you donate us. Half of it is gonna go to a charity of our listeners' choice, and everyone can vote on what charity it's gonna be. All right, cool idea?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking that's what we got to do something, man. Got to get people involved in it. Let's change the fucking world. Yeah, let's change it starts with one pebble being thrown into a pond, right? And then it ripples out. Like, that's how it starts, changing the whole world. It starts like that. I know, I've set trends before. And you guys set a trend, and then you see everybody in the city doing it eventually, and you're the one that set it. Makes you feel really cool. It does. Like, I know, it was a. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. We got wrapping up. Anybody else want to tear me a new one, and I can have a big argument with you?
Is there going to be an after-hours show?
Oh, good question. Do you want to do one with me? Have some fun?
Sure, why not? I'm awake.
Okay, we'll do one then.
I don't know about
3
hours.
Adam's tired, and I think Darren, I don't know. Darren's probably tired too, because he does most of the interviewing. What do you think, Darren?
I don't know. I'll take a little break and I'll come back in. I'm sure I always do.
Yeah. You usually take a break and then come back in if it gets good. So yeah, Dave Scott's going to be our guest tomorrow, and guess what? He's an experiencer, man, and he's seen crazy stuff like me, like I believe gnomes. He's seen gnomes. He's seen a spacecraft basically that has already landed, and it's in his backyard, and he went out there and checked it out with another lady, and oh boy, he's got some good ones. This guy is, if you think that I'm way out there, check this guy out. Oh man, I'd say he's another version of me, man. This guy.
We're in trouble.
Oh yeah, there's going to be two of them. There's going to be two of them tomorrow. Yeah, he started his own show by himself too, just like I did. But it's
I like when,
same reasons.
When you and Yuck are on together, you guys could have your own show. You guys are so funny.
Yeah.
You don't even need a guest with the two of you guys.
Oh, me and Yuck. Me and Yuck. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll do an after show. Okay. Don't. She says. Okay. I'll. Yeah, you'll have a way to get back in to our live feed here. It'll be posted in Twitter, and it'll be posted as Dirty Rotten Taro. That's the after hours show where we can be nasty. And I'll probably do some rap beats or something crazy, stupid shit. I don't know where my extra went. I'm looking for.
We only had one F-bomb in this show. That's not too bad.
Man, where did my
better?
Man. Okay, come on. I gotta find this thing. Okay, I think I know where to find it. I got some new music coming up for our show. Is gonna be totally reformatted eventually. Where's Jeff in here? Holy shit!
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Have you ever astro projected?
Yes, I've actually done that numerous times. I've also projected into the ethereal realm, and
we've got to bring that up in another show.
Yeah.
Every time I ask him if he's done anything, he's done it. Yeah, I played instruments. Yeah, I've written books.
Oh yeah, I've been there and done that. Yeah.
All right, we'll save that.
I can't find Jeff in here.
All right.
What the hell? I'm looking for this something that Jeff sent me.
Jeff the Gray?
Yeah, Jeff the Gray gave me something for the end of the show. And I still got 2 minutes left, so if I could find it, I still got time to use it here. I still got time to... There it is.
When is Adam's show?
Here it
Christmas?
is. Adam? Pardon me, what did you ask?
When is Adam the Shadows show?
The Psionic Special.
Oh, the Psionic Special, the Christmas show. Yeah, that's on the 24th. Yeah, it's going to be pre-recorded show, but it'll be new to everybody. But that'll be a pre-recorded show, but it'll play at the same time. The day before that, though, will be live, and it'll be what do you call it? We're doing with John Madden. We're doing the history of Santa Claus and the elves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the next day is going to be a special Psionic show with me and Adam. I'll probably be doing really silly things like singing karaoke Christmas songs or something. Yeah, we got to go, folks. 47 seconds left. Just so anyone knows. Thanks for listening, everybody. Come back again on Monster Castle Paranormal. I said thanks, everybody. Come on, man. What, you're not going to clap? Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. What? What did I do? Huh? I do